Let me see how well Marvel Rivals is doing. It's still got over 100, almost 200,000 players. That's an assload of guys playing the game. That's a whole lot.
As you guys surely know, Marvel Rivals has been killing it, and Overwatch 2 has been essentially doing the opposite, itself, if anything. Even just taking a brief look at analytics over on SteamDB, we can see Overwatch 2 with a 23% rating and 35k in-game as recording. In comparison to Rivals, 79% rating.
I would say that 80%, if not 90% or higher of the audience of people that are playing Overwatch are probably playing on the Battle.net launcher. Really, the only way you can get an indicator of like how popular this game is based off of the trend and then extrapolating the trend. So, like, yes, Marvel Rivals is doing better than Overwatch on Steam, but Steam, I think, is a very small slice of the Overwatch pizza.
Rivals is a game that I am thoroughly enjoying, but of course it does have its own problems. It's not a perfect game. Regardless, it's doing significantly better than Overwatch 2. And given Overwatch 2's own struggles, on top of Rivals' massive success, it seems like Blizzard is getting increasingly desperate. You see, for years now, Blizzard has been attempting to appeal to the modern audience types. It's really interesting because with Overwatch 1, they did have some attractive characters
in-game, 2.0, yeah.
The modern audience types they were trying to cater to ended up complaining about that.
What do you guys think? Do people consume more fan art about Overwatch or more Overwatch in the last year? Which one do you think? More fan art. That's what I'm thinking too.
Blizzard had this victory pose going on with Tracer, but certain types of individuals, you know the type, began to complain about this, saying it's problematic, that she's overly sexualized, you know, all that sort of really, I'm offended about everything sort of rhetoric. And so ultimately, Blizzard decided to capitulate to those people and remove that victory pose. We'll talk much more about how Blizzard is starting to regret having catered to those sort of people for years. Before we do, a message about a game that embraces its attractive characters that I think you guys will appreciate. Big thanks to Girls Frontline 2 Exilium for sponsoring this video.
This game is the most shameless fucking game I have ever seen. You can go into like these dorm rooms with these girls and like you can click on their bodies on different spots and they'll do different things. Look, see? And so this is the real, like what you guys saw earlier, that's not the gameplay. This is the real gameplay.
We left off discussing how Blizzard began to pander more and more to the modern audience types, and Overwatch went from a game where those types complaining about sexualized characters to a game where posts like this were prevalent, fast forwarding now to 2022. On the Blizzard forums, this post, for example, reading, "Is Overwatch the only game with non-sexualized female characters?"
That's crazy. Wow.
I hope I can say that word in the title, but it's quite interesting thinking about why we have such a great and large LGBTQ community. And now fast forwarding to May 30th, 2023, after the release of Overwatch 2.
So LGBTQ isn't sexualized? And LGBTQ people don't like sexualized characters? Hold up. That's the implication, right? It's quite interesting thinking about why we have such a great... Why would they not want that? Why are the people for equality so attached to stereotypes? This is weird. Why is this happening?
And the first Pride Month occurring after Overwatch 2's release, Blizzard made this official post that reads, "Celebrate Pride in Overwatch 2, bragging about their inclusivity for Overwatch 2, or what you could really just call rainbow capitalism. For example, they wrote, "Beginning on June 1st. Everybody that logs into Overwatch 2 will receive an extensive collection of profile player icons and name cards, celebrating the many diverse identities that make up the tapestry of this fantastic community. The full list of cosmetics can be found below. Name cards allow you to choose how you identify within the game, and you'll notice specific ones dedicated to some of our LGBTQ+ heroes. You'll find a lesbian card for Tracer."
They actually type this. There's a gay card for... I got your gay card. Like... This is something that we said in 3rd grade. Your gay card? Like, what do you need a gay card? Who wrote this? What is going on? This is insane. It's so weird. I know, you dropped your gay card. Remember that? No, I didn't. Oh, you still have it. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. How does this happen?
A pansexual card for Lifeweaver, as well as a bisexual card for Baptist and a lesbian card for Farah. For years, players have speculated on the sexual orientations of Baptist and Farah, and we are thrilled to not only include them in these Pride cosmetics, but also publish a brand new short story focusing on their identities, each other, and themselves.
Never mind. No, I was going to say something really bad. Not going to say. So I've seen more pictures of Widowmaker with a dick than without. And so I don't need Overwatch to do this for me. The game's like you've got fan art that does that already. Like you don't. It's all a fake problem. This isn't even real to begin with.
For example, Pirate Nation captioning the news saying Overwatch 2 is getting its Korean devs to spruce up its female characters, obviously because of Marvel Rivals. We can see a response from Madam Savvy saying, "Let me help you out, Overwatch. You can get all the Asians you want to completely redesign characters. That isn't going to help. You took away fun and focused on all the wrong things. You retconned lore to pander, and you censored the ever-living heck out of your game. Adding back loot boxes, undoing every change, and doing nostalgia mode isn't going to save you. You burnt your goodwill. It's gone. No one new picks up your game, and everyone is No one new picks up your game, and everyone is leaving. It's called moving on from that bad ex. You have people who hate gamers working there."
I unironically think this is true, that there's a lot of people that work in video games that don't even like gamers. Like, if you don't like gamers, like, imagine working at a steakhouse and you're a vegan. It just seems like a bad place to be, you know?
The pride of your ideology won't let you. The pride of your activist staff won't let you. And I will never go back to Overwatch. But here's where things get really interesting, because certain Overwatch 2 fans are attempting to defend Blizzard here. Their argument is essentially that Blizzard has actually collabed with Le Seraphim before being specifically back in October 2023. In other words, before Marvel Rivals was even released. And so they're saying that Blizzard isn't concerned about Rivals.
Concerned about Rivals. It's a competitive game in the same industry. What do you mean they're not concerned about it? Of course they are. What are you talking about? Like, if you look at a Venn diagram between people that play Rivals and people that play Overwatch, it's going to be pretty damn close to a circle.
But when you actually take a look at the previous collab with Le Seraphim and compare it to the new collab, there's some huge differences with the collabs. For example, the new one does seem to show the characters in a much more attractive light, while the first one did have that sort of safe feel that Madam Savvy was talking about, and if anything even looks a bit awkward at times. I'll show you specifically what I mean. And by the way, for those that don't know, Le Seraphim is a South Korean music group. So in the collab from 2023, we can see part of the animation here. I'm not going to play the entire thing, and take note of some of the things that the girls are doing. For example, like, this just seems awkward. Maybe you agree or disagree, but this is just like, I don't know, it just looks weird and awkward to me. But okay, anyways, those are some examples.
Let's look at the new one.
The first collab from 2023 is mentioned, but now we'll take a look at the brand new collab, and you can instantly see, first off, they have like this style they're going with that's supposed to be like more of an anime theme style. And it's very interesting how the characters are dressed in more revealing ways this time.
I still don't think this looks that good. I feel like all the leaked cinematics and everything totally fucking cleared this. It's not even close. It still looks bad.
In my opinion, at least, it's a pretty stark difference. The first one has this like safe westernized feel, and now Blizzard is pretty clearly trying to change all that in the second collab. Hopping back over to Madam Savvy's post, let's check out some of the comments and see what some of the other people are saying. We saw an Overwatch defender. Here are some other comments, though. Eldritch Bogart saying, the game died when they stopped producing good cinematics.
Game died when they decided that they weren't going to do PvE. Everybody was so excited for Overwatch 2, and people really like the world of Overwatch. Like, it was compelling, it had interesting characters, and I think that people liked it in general. But when they announced that they weren't going to do PvE for Overwatch anymore, what they did basically is kill the hope that the game would ever be more than just like a hero arena shooter. And that's just really not, like, people were excited about the whole spectrum of the world. Like, they had built something that was really interesting. I think that they had a number of like compelling and interesting and like a lot of the characters that they made with Overwatch were really good. Like Torbjorn, Reinhardt, Widowmaker, Mercy, Diva. They were all these like really iconic, well-designed, super relatable, appealing characters, right? For one reason or another. And then you had like all these other things where it was like you had this story that was like told only through like you know, like different dialogue lines before the match, where it's like Soldier 76 and Reaper that are talking to each other, and like you discern from that some sort of like, you know, storytelling, right? It was almost like Dark Souls, how they had like spontaneous storytelling in Dark Souls if you did certain interactions. Like Overwatch kind of had the same thing in a way, right? Abstractly. And it was really cool. It was so well done. And I think that you built that up over the years, and you built up the lore, you built up these cinematics to like make people like the interactions between the characters, and then you just decided to literally just give up. You just said, you know what? Nah, yeah, I don't know, guys.
Steven saying, and this is why I love competition. Free markets mean the consumer wins.
Yep.
Darth Vader saying,
Darth Vader.
I used to love playing Overwatch back in the day. I had gold weapons for D.Va, Reaper, and McCree. Mark XZ saying, still remember they add DEI stats to every character.
Oh my god. I forgot all about the chart. Blizzard, DEI, intersectionality, chart. Basically, they introduced a chart where it's basically like I know what you're thinking. Did they really make a racial tier list? Yep, that's right. And so is this true? Yep, it is. And Blizzard creates diversity space tool to aid in inclusive characters. Nobody liked this.
Aaron Darklord saying they literally have to contract good designs out to another continent because there's probably no one in their office who's physically and psychologically capable of drawing them if asked to, and they'd get months of tantrums and malicious complaints.
The reason why is that you have a bunch of people that want to draw characters and make them ugly because they joined video games and they want to make video games the way that they want to make video games. They don't care about what the audience wants. They don't care about what like the people that buy the game want. They care about how they feel and how the video game makes them feel. That's the problem. That's what it is. Like, I think that a lot of these Western studios, and especially American studios, are totally cooked. I don't think they're ever going to be able to get out of it. It's like if you get an infection and you have to cut off the entire arm. I feel like these people are that infection. You can't really get rid of them. And so you're stuck with all of these people that have completely taken over the company, and they're going to drive it into the ground because they have weird worldviews that nobody else likes. And they can't come to terms with the fact that these viewpoints are not popular. Nobody likes them. They don't even like themselves. You know, like, it's so weird, man.
They also flat out lied to players. The PvE feature was scrapped and was a big part of the game going forward. It was just scrapped. And the last one we'll take a look at is this one from LC that reads, as someone who sunk hours and hours into Overwatch and even spent a good amount of time on Overwatch 2, I agree. I won't be going back. So let me know what you think. Do you think Blizzard can possibly recover goodwill? Of course, they might be concerned if they start like undoing some of the stuff they've been doing for years that they might upset the modern audience types that are...
Remember what I was saying about how, like Gavin Newsom went and he tried to roach out on some of these like woke ideas, and then not only do the people that, you know, he's trying to roach out, like, so not only do the people that he is leaving hate him, now you're having the people that he's going to think that he's like dishonest. So Blizzard is in a situation where they're basically fucked. Because if you change what you're doing now, then it looks like you never cared, and you're betraying all the people that, you know, like, they're like, oh, wow, like, they really care about my identity. They don't care about your identity. Why would they care about your identity? And, yeah, they care about your money. That's what they care about. And so you can't, and there are a good amount of those people, for sure. And you're going to betray all of those people, and then in order to get back to people... And like you're going to make it like Marvel Rivals. And there's other problems that Overwatch has that are just gameplay related that don't have anything to do with it that I think Marvel Rivals does a better job at solving, especially in terms of like color effects and spell effects. I think Marvel Rivals is much better with that. So that's really it. And also like the levels are more well designed, I think, and the game's more dynamic. They add in more stuff more quickly. So all those things coming together, you're going to have a game that's more agile and people like it more. So the problem is that Overwatch, I think that they've written themselves into a corner. If you betray the woke people, then you lose them. And if you try to stay with them, the game keeps dying. How come companies became like that in the first place? Imposed by DEI rules by the law? They got paid to do it or something else? I think that a lot of people are naturally accommodating and reasonable. So they reasonably allow certain types of discourse and certain types of additions. Like, oh yeah, let's add in this character. Let's add in that character. And like at a certain point, like basically it reaches a point of no return where you have so many people that have this ideology. And then the ideology, and the problem with a lot of these, like, kind of like, I don't really like using the word because I feel like it's very overused, but like, you know, let's just be honest, like woke ideologies, a lot of them are kind of like self-radicalizing, where like there's never really like an end goal. There's just the next level. And so when there is a parity reached between one goal, then the next goal then becomes the new goal. Yeah, it's purity spiraling, right? It's like, yeah, it's like a Russian nesting doll of purity tests that never ends. So now, and like, if you think about like kind of like woke stuff back in 2014 was like having women that don't look like they're made like actresses and not calling people the N-word. Like those were two, that was a really, really big thing. Like, just stop calling people the N-word, and you know, women are not property. And like, that's it, right? But like, and those same people, I think that some of them that were ideologically just attached to that alienated themselves from that group. And then you also had that mentality is like a self-radicalizing mentality that those same people, or that movement that they created, is now the movement that's like about, you know, like transitioning kids before they can speak. And so that's the problem, is that it's a self-radicalizing ideology. And the reason why it's a self-radicalizing ideology, the values that these people are pushing are actually artificial. They don't really care about these values. They don't care about the way that people feel. They don't care about equality. They don't care about any of this shit. The only thing that they care about is they care about feeling like they're doing a good thing and adding something to their long list of good deeds that make them a good person. So the problem is that when you run out of good deeds that make you a good person, well, now you don't have this new way to feed your narcissism. So that's when you have the next problem manifest. You never run out of problems, because when these people run out of problems, they run out of power. And all of their power is derived from having problems. Do you see what my point is?
Yeah, let me know what you think about that, if you think Blizzard can fix all this somehow, or not. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed my coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.
I feel like almost all of these values that people have with like adding in, like, I can't believe, bro, a gay card? A gay card? Are you kidding me? There's a gay, you get a gay card? How do you add something like that? Yeah, you dropped your gay card. I know. Like, it's like, is this like some kind of like abstract meme? Like, yeah, is it like some like hidden, like, I don't get it. And you know how I treat gay people? Like people. Simple. I treat trans people like people. Treat Republicans like people. Democrats like people. Woke people like people. And that's because, as I've said before, I'm probably the most pro-feminist streamer on the website. It's like a very funny and sad story in a way. There's this old lady in our neighborhood. She's like 90 years old, and her name's Karen. She would complain about us, get mad at us when we were kids. And like, Zach went over and he saw Karen recently, and Karen was being nice to him. And he was like, why is Karen being so nice to me? Why is she being nice? And he's like, well, apparently she started getting early onset dementia. So now she's nice to people. And like, we're talking about this, and I'm like, do we laugh? Is this funny? Is this bad? Like, what do we do? Like, I don't know what this is. And it's like, yeah, so she was being nice now. And so I forgot even how I got that. Oh yeah, even her, treat her like a person. And so it's so weird how this group of people, you just go, like, why can't you just act normal? Why can't you be normal? Why can't you just be normal? We don't need gay cards. What are you doing with gay cards? Just be normal. Jesus Christ.